All right, so global unity, eh? It's a beautiful concept, isn't it? The idea that we can all come together regardless of our differences and live in harmony. It's the stuff of dreams, really. Imagine a world where everyone gets along, where there's no conflict, no war, no hatred, just peace and love. Sounds like a utopia, right? Everyone singing Kumbaya and holding hands. Picture it, people from all walks of life, from every corner of the globe, joining hands and singing in perfect harmony. It's a heartwarming image, isn't it? But let's be real for a moment. How often do we actually see this in our daily lives? How often do we witness such unity and togetherness? Yeah, not so much, is it? The reality is often far from this ideal. Instead of unity, we see division. Instead of harmony, we see discord. It's almost as if the more we strive for global unity, the more we highlight our differences. And these differences, well, they often become the source of our humor, our jokes, and yes, our mockery. The truth is, we love taking the piss out of each other, especially when it comes to countries. It's like an international pastime. We poke fun at each other's quirks, accents, and cultural idiosyncrasies. It's almost as if it's in our nature to find humor in our differences. And let's face it, some of these jokes are downright hilarious. It's like the whole world's a pub and we're just a bunch of blokes making fun of each other's accents. Imagine a lively pub filled with the sound of laughter and banter, friends gathered around sharing stories and jokes, often at each other's expense. It's all in good fun, of course, but there's something about this setting that mirrors our global interactions. We tease, we mock, but deep down, it's all about connection. And let's be honest, some countries are just easier targets than others, aren't they? Think about it. There are certain nations that seem to have a never-ending supply of stereotypes, whether it's their food, their customs, or their way of life. These countries provide ample material for jokes, and we just can't resist. You know, the ones with the funny stereotypes and the, shall we say, colorful histories? These are the countries that have been the subject of countless jokes and stories. Their histories are filled with events and characters that are just too good to pass up. And so they become the butt of our jokes, time and time again. It's like they're begging for it, really. Some countries just have that certain something that makes them prime targets for mockery. Maybe it's their leaders, their traditions, or just the way they do things. Whatever it is, they seem to invite our jokes and jabs. And we, being the good-natured people that we are more than happy to oblige. So, in this series, we're going to dive headfirst into the mosh pit of international mockery and have a right laugh at the expense of, well, everyone, really. We're not holding back. No country is off limits. We're going to explore the quirks, the stereotypes, and the downright absurdities of nations around the world. And we're going to do it with a sense of humor and a healthy dose of irreverence. We'll be exploring why certain nations are always the butt of the joke, and trust me, there's no shortage of material. From the way they talk to the way they eat, from their politics to their pop culture, there's plenty to laugh about. And we're going to dig deep to find the funniest, most ridiculous aspects of each country. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and maybe learn a thing or two about the world. And just how much we all love to hate each other. Because, at the end of the day, our jokes and mockery are just a reflection of our shared humanity. We laugh at each other because we see a bit of ourselves in the jokes. And in that laughter, we find a connection, a common ground. Just kidding, or am I? Because while we might be poking fun, there's always a grain of truth in every joke. And maybe, just maybe, through this playful banter, we can come to understand each other a little better. So let's be awful to each other, but let's do it with a smile and a sense of camaraderie. After all, if we can't laugh at ourselves, then what's the point? First up, we've got the cheese-loving, wine-swilling, beret-wearing surrender monkeys themselves. France, France, the land of romance, fine dining, and apparently surrendering. But let's not be too hasty in our judgment. France is a country with a rich and complex history filled with moments of both grandeur and, well, less than glorious capitulations. Picture this, the sun setting over the Eiffel Tower, casting a golden hue over the Seine River. Couples stroll hand in hand, whispering sweet nothings in each other's ears. It's a scene straight out of a romance novel. But behind this picturesque facade lies a nation that has seen its fair share of conflicts and, yes, surrenders. Now, I've got nothing against the French, really. I mean, their pastries are delightful. Their wine's not half bad, and their ability to surrender quickly and efficiently is actually quite impressive. The French have mastered the art of living well, from their exquisite cuisine to their world-renowned wines. Their vineyards stretch as far as the eye can see, producing some of the finest wines known to humanity, and let's not forget their bakeries, where the aroma of freshly baked croissants and baguettes fills the air, tempting even the most disciplined of dieters. But let's be honest, they've made it a bit too easy for us, haven't they? The French have a reputation for surrendering, and while it's a bit of a stereotype, there's some historical truth to it. From the Franco-Prussian War to World War II, France has had its moments of capitulation. But it's important to remember that surrendering isn't always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it's a strategic move to preserve lives and resources. I mean, the whole romantic stereotype is practically begging for it, you know, the men with their little moustaches and berets trying to woo women with their, what is it they say? Je t'aime. The French have a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to romance. Their language is often called the language of love, and their culture is steeped in romantic traditions. From the charming streets of Paris to the idyllic countryside, France is a place where love seems to be in the air. And don't even get me started on the whole snooty thing. They invented the word haute couture, for God's sake. The French are known for their impeccable sense of style and fashion. Paris is the fashion capital of the world, home to some of the most prestigious fashion houses and designers. Haute couture, with its intricate designs and luxurious fabrics, is a testament to the French dedication to elegance and sophistication. You try going into one of those shops and asking for a pair of trousers without feeling like you need a bloody dictionary and a trust fund. The French take their fashion seriously, and it can be a bit intimidating for outsiders. But once you get past the initial culture shock, you'll find that the French are passionate about their craft and take great pride in their work. Still, gotta give them credit where it's due. They've given the world some cracking art, music and literature. The Louvre Museum, with its vast collection of masterpieces, is a testament to the French contribution to the arts. From the works of Monet and Renoir to the compositions of Debussy and Ravel, French culture has enriched the world in countless ways. Their literature, too, is filled with timeless classics that continue to inspire and captivate readers. Plus, they've got a revolution or two under their belts, even if they did surrender to the Germans a few times. The French Revolution was a pivotal moment in history, a time when the people rose up against tyranny and fought for their rights. It was a period of great upheaval and change, and it laid the foundation for modern democracy. And while France has had its moments of surrender, it's also had its moments of resilience and bravery. But hey, who's counting, right? In the grand scheme of things, France is a nation that has contributed immensely to the world. From its rich cultural heritage to its culinary delights, France has a lot to offer. So, while we may poke fun at their reputation for surrendering, let's not forget the many ways in which France has enriched our lives. Whether it's through their art, their food, or their romantic charm, the French have a unique and enduring appeal. So here's to France, a country that may surrender from time to time, but never fails to captivate our hearts and imaginations. Next up, we're heading east, the land of beer, bratwurst, and, well, Germany, a country that has given the world so much, from classical music to cutting-edge technology, and of course, some of the best beer you'll ever taste. Oktoberfest, anyone? It's a celebration that brings people from all over the world to experience the joy and camaraderie that only a German beer garden can offer. Now, before we start, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way, shall we? Yes, we've all heard the jokes. No, I'm not going to repeat them. It's like that awkward silence when someone brings up a touchy subject at a family dinner. We all know it's there, but let's just move on, shall we? It's a bit like their humor, really, a bit too predictable, a bit too on the nose. But hey, every culture has its quirks, right? German comedy might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it has its moments. The laughter you hear in a German comedy show is genuine, and that's something to appreciate. But in all seriousness, the Germans, they're an efficient bunch, aren't they? Everything runs on time, everything's organized, and everything works. It's like a well-oiled machine, where every cog and wheel has its place and function. The trains arrive precisely when they're supposed to, and the offices hum with productivity. It's enough to make you sick, really. I mean, Imagine a world where the trains actually ran on time, where the roads were smooth and pothole-free, where you could get a plumber to your house on the same day. It's almost like a utopia, isn't it? The autobahns are legendary for their quality and the freedom they offer to drivers. And let's not forget the plumbing. No leaky faucets or clogged drains here. It's enough to send shivers down your spine, isn't it? The efficiency, the precision, it's almost eerie. Like something out of a fairy tale, but with a modern twist. The cold German winters add to the mystique, making the castles and old buildings look even more enchanting, yet slightly spooky. Still, you've got to admire their dedication to, well, everything really. They're like the overachievers of Europe, always striving for perfection, whether it's in the factory or the library. The German work ethic is something to behold. It's a culture that values hard work, precision and excellence in every field. It's a bit like their cars, really, reliable, well-built, but not much fun to drive, are they? German engineering is world-renowned, and for good reason. The cars are masterpieces of design and functionality, built to last and perform. But sometimes you just want a bit of excitement, a bit of unpredictability, don't you? And let's not forget their commitment to sustainability. Germany is a leader in renewable energy, with wind turbines dotting the countryside and solar panels on rooftops. It's a nation that looks to the future, always planning, always innovating. Their dedication to green energy is something the rest of the world could learn from. Even their waste management is impressive. Recycling is a way of life in Germany, with strict rules and efficient systems in place. It's a country that takes its environmental responsibilities seriously, and it shows. The streets are clean, the air is fresh, and the people are proud of their efforts to protect the planet. But it's not all about efficiency and precision. Germany has a rich cultural heritage that is celebrated with gusto. From traditional dances and music to vibrant festivals, there's a lot of joy and colour in German life. It's a country that knows how to have fun, even if it's in a very organised way. And let's talk about the food. German cuisine might not be as famous as French or Italian, but it's hearty and delicious. Fresh bread from the bakery, mouth-watering pastries, and of course the famous sausages. It's comfort food at its best, perfect for those cold winter days. Germany is also a country with a deep and complex history. From the remnants of the Berlin Wall to the grandeur of the Brandenburg Gate, the past is ever present. It's a place where history is remembered and honoured, but also where the future is being built with determination and vision. Education is another area where Germany excels. The schools and universities are among the best in the world, with innovative teaching methods and a strong emphasis on research and development. It's a system that produces some of the brightest minds ready to tackle the challenges of tomorrow. And let's not forget the healthcare system. Efficient, accessible, and of high quality, it's something that many other countries envy. The doctors and nurses are dedicated professionals, working tirelessly to ensure that everyone receives the care they need. Public transportation is another area where Germany shines. The buses, trams, and trains are punctual, clean, and efficient. It's a system that makes it easy to get around, whether you're commuting to work or exploring the beautiful countryside. Innovation is at the heart of the German spirit. From tech startups to cutting-edge research labs, Germany is a hub of creativity and invention. It's a place where new ideas are nurtured and brought to life, driving progress and shaping the future. And let's not forget the love for the outdoors. Germans are passionate about nature, and it shows in their love for hiking, cycling, and other outdoor activities. The country's beautiful landscapes provide the perfect backdrop for these pursuits, offering a sense of peace and connection with the natural world. In the end, Germany is a country of contrasts. It's a place where efficiency meets tradition, where innovation meets history, and where hard work meets celebration. It's a nation that has given the world so much and continues to do so with a spirit of determination and excellence. So here's to Germany, a land of efficiency, yes, but also so much more. Right, Canada, land of moose, maple syrup and apologies. They're like the friend you invite to a party who ends up tidying your flat and leaving you a thank you note. You know the type, always saying sorry even when you bump into them. It's almost like they're genetically engineered to be nice. And don't even get me started on the accent, eh? It's like listening to a choir of angels after gargling maple syrup. Even when they're trying to be angry, they sound like they're offering you a cuppa and a biscuit, but hey, at least they're polite, right? It's more than can be said for some of the other nations on this list. But seriously, you've got to admire their commitment to niceness. It's almost suspicious, isn't it? Like they're hiding some dark secret under all that politeness. Maybe they're secretly training a moose army. Ah, America, the land of opportunity, the American dream, and being really, really loud. You know what I'm talking about. They're like the mate who walks into a pub and announces their presence to the entire room. And don't even get me started on the portion sizes. They're massive. It's like they've never heard of a small plate. You order a coffee and they bring you a bucket. And then there's the whole biggest is best mentality. Everything's got to be bigger, louder, and more extreme. They invented the double cheeseburger, for crying out loud. But hey, say what you will about the Yanks, they know how to make an entrance. And they've given us some cracking telly, even if they do interrupt it every 5 minutes for an advert break. Ah, the UK, the land of warm beer, terrible weather and self-deprecating humour. We're a funny bunch, us Brits. We love nothing more than taking the piss out of ourselves. It's practically a national sport. We'll happily moan about the weather, the government, the state of the NHS. You name it, we'll find something to whinge about. But hey, at least we're self-aware, right? We know we're not perfect and we're not afraid to laugh at ourselves. It's all part of our charm, innit? And let's not forget, we've given the world some of the greatest comedians of all time. Monty Python, Benny Hill, Mr. Bean, the list goes on. We're a nation of comedic geniuses, even if we do say so ourselves. All right, let's talk about Italy. Land of the Romans, the Renaissance, and ridiculously good-looking shoes. But let's be honest, when you think about Italians, you think about passionate outbursts, hand gestures that could land you in jail in some countries, and an undying love for pasta. It's like they're always one misplaced meatball away from a full-blown opera. And don't even get me started on the traffic. Have you ever seen an Italian driver at a roundabout? It's like watching a game of bumper cars orchestrated by a caffeinated octopus. They're like the dramatic friend in your group, always adding a bit of spice, or should I say oregano, to every situation. But hey, who doesn't love a bit of drama, especially when it comes with a side of delicious pizza? Next up, we're heading down under to the land of sunshine, shrimp on the barbie, and more deadly creatures than a Tarantino film. Yes, it's Australia, where the people are friendly, the beer is cold, and everything wants to kill you. They say Australians are a laid-back bunch, and it's true they are, until you insult their footy team, their local pub, or their ability to wrestle a crocodile. Then you might see a different side of that laid-back attitude. Speaking of crocodiles, Australia's wildlife is like something out of a horror movie, directed by a nature documentary filmmaker. It's like they took all the most terrifying creatures on Earth and said, let's put them all in one place and see what happens. Right, pack your Ushankas and your vodka flasks, because we're off to Russia, the land of borscht, ballet and bears riding unicycles. Okay, maybe not the last one, but you get the picture. Russia, a country so vast, it spans 11 time zones and is often portrayed as a land of extremes. Extreme cold, extreme toughness, and an extreme fondness for vodka. Stereotypically, Russians are seen as stoic, serious, and about as emotionally expressive as a concrete statue. They're the strong, silent type who stare down adversity with the same unwavering gaze they reserve for a shot of ice-cold vodka. They're like that one uncle you have who never smiles, but you know deep down he loves you, probably. Or at least he tolerates your presence. Right, India. Land of, well, billions of people. You know, you've got more people trying to get a train ticket in Mumbai than the entire population of some countries. Must be a right laugh at the ticket office. And don't even get me started on the accent. Someone rings up for tech support and you haven't got a clue what they're on about. It's like they invented their own version of English. Which, to be fair, with all those languages they've got over there, they probably have, but You can't talk about India without mentioning the curry, can you? I mean, it's like their national dish. Chicken tikka masala, vindaloo, saag paneer. I've had a right go at all of them. Though after a couple of pints of Cobra, it all tastes the same, doesn't it? Next time you're feeling brave, order the full. It's not for the faint-hearted, I'll tell you that. Right, China. Now we're talking big leagues, billions of them. Honestly, you could probably make a new country just out of people who've bumped into each other over there. And they all seem to be really good at making stuff, don't they? I mean, you can't walk down the street these days without tripping over something made in China. Phones, tellies, those little plastic toys you get in Christmas crackers. You name it, they've made it. And they've got that Great Wall, haven't they? Bloke who built that must have been chuffed with himself. All right, lads, take a break. You've earned it. We've only got another 10,000 miles to go. Speaking of food, everyone goes on about Chinese food, but let's be honest, most of it's just sweet and sour this or chow mein that, innit? Though I do like a good prawn cracker. Couldn't tell you the last time I saw a prawn in one, mind you. So, there you have it. The top 10 most ridiculed nations. Look, at the end of the day, it's all just a bit of fun. In it, we're all different, we all have our quirks, and that's what makes the world go round. Just remember, the next time you're having a laugh at someone else's expense, make sure you can take a joke yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a dodgy Chinese takeaway with my name on it. And I'm pretty sure it's been calling my name for the last 100 years. Cheers.